place. He's stopping greedy people who are ambulance chasers and take advantage of people in a crisis for 3 months. Okay. And then beyond that, he is not allowing deals to go through that undervalue their properties. That's it. You just can't undervalue the property. That makes perfect sense, okay? If you're gonna come and you're gonna say that you're gonna develop this land, whatever it is, it's gotta be at the actual value so people can make that money back that they invested into their home. I can't. I really can't with the way that this world is going right now.
Just tell me what it was like also collaborating with Blake in this.
Oh, she's a creative force. She's a genius. She was involved in every aspect of this production, and everything she touched, she made better.
I mean, it all started with a letter that Colleen received from you.
Yeah.
That message must have been so heartfelt. What do you think was the words that you used that really captivated her and made her want to give you over the movie rights? I mean, she had a lot of requests.
Yeah, I don't know if, again, I feel like there was some divine guidance there. I don't think it was the words. I think it was the intention.
Do you take painkillers or anything when you do that stuff? Well, I mean, do they give you like laughing gas or something?
They definitely give you some pretty hardcore pills after you have a laser in your eye. What is going on?
I was saying, so post-surgery, you're a little loopy, you know, you have things in your eyes, and,
What's happening right now?
What I've learned more and more and more of is like, you know, these women who experience this every single day, there's real love there. You know, there's charm, there's charisma, there's passion, there's this belief that they can be better, and it's not so simple. So our friends at No More, I'm wearing their pin right now, they were the ones who really worked with me to help me make this film as truthful as possible and hopefully do justice to
I
all
just
the women
like
who experience this.
Justin, I like the messaging. Instead of asking why does she stay, ask why did they do that?
I feel like we are like so way over time. Do want to also tell you about something that's just very objectively funny that Trump is doing. He is, in a Truth Social post, just announced that he's naming Mel Gibson and Jon Voight as special ambassadors to very troubled Hollywood. I just love this so much. First of all, I love this because it's Mel Gibson in there, and Hollywood effectively chased Mel Gibson out, and now he's going to be the ambassador, the special ambassador to Hollywood.
And the why that I wanted to make the movie, and the heart that I try to put in everything that I do. And I think at the end of the day, that speaks maybe more than words do. I think that people can feel the intention. It's like the difference between like your grandmother's food and a restaurant's food, right? There's something that's always different about it, and that's the way that we try to make movies, and it's the way I try to live, and I don't know, maybe Colleen just felt that.
I think that's a much better lens to look at it, but it's my understanding that you hadn't intended on casting yourself, that Colleen Hoover said, you know, really, you should play this. Now, I find that interesting. What do you mean you didn't plan on casting yourself? You read the role.
Yeah, you know, I had an assistant at the time.
And you still could have said, no, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, I had an assistant at the time who read the book, and she's like, you got to play Ryle. Yeah. And after I read it, I think there was this part of me that wanted to. I think we all have, you know, these big dreams, or like, oh, what a role that would be, or...
Imagine tuning in to what should have been a routine Hollywood love story, an eagerly anticipated film adaptation of It Ends With Us. On the surface, everything sparkled. Blake Lively's star power, Justin Baldoni's reputation as a forward-thinking actor-director, and a best-selling novel adored by millions. But soon the curtain lifted on a messy behind-the-scenes tale. It started with whispered rumors of script rewrites and on-set tension. Then it escalated into a full-blown media and legal storm, dragging in power players like Ryan Reynolds and even a cameo mention of Taylor Swift. And if you thought that was dramatic, wait until you hear about the websites, phone records, and unedited footage that could flip everything upside down. At first, fans believed they were getting a heartfelt story about love, resilience, and second chances. People were excited to see Lively transform into a new kind of character, opposite Baldoni's carefully honed persona as a thoughtful, empathetic leading man. Yet underneath the cinematic gloss, trouble brewed. Crew members hinted at tension so thick you could cut it with a knife, particularly when rumors swirled that Ryan Reynolds started appearing on set more often than anyone expected. Why would one of Hollywood's most in-demand stars spend so much time hovering around a project he wasn't officially heading? Some claimed he was there to support his wife. Others whispered that his presence might be fueling the flame. By the time the film's production schedule was halfway through, hush-hush stories leaked that certain scenes had been rewritten multiple times. Lively, known for her intense dedication to character development, reportedly clashed with Baldoni's directorial vision. While co-stars often share small disagreements on any film set, these spats seem to involve overshadowing creative control. There were claims that Lively wanted more say in the story's direction, while Baldoni felt cornered by external pressures. No one outside that circle knew if that was fact or mere gossip. And then, Ryan Reynolds allegedly showed up with a stack of notes, fueling speculation that he was unofficially co-writing or stepping into a producer-like role. A few weeks later, everything escalated when out-of-context, behind-the-scenes footage surfaced. That clip, which many people saw on social media, showed Lively and Baldoni rehearsing what looked like an unscripted slow dance scene. Supposedly, Lively once described this moment as one that made her uncomfortable and fed into accusations of inappropriate behavior. But Justin Baldoni's team quickly claimed the exact opposite, that it was all professional improvisation. They insisted the footage proved that Lively had been fully on board. Fans were torn, reading each gesture like it was a secret code. In some frames, the pair appear relaxed and playful. In others, the chemistry seems awkward. Some watchers believed it supported Lively's claims, while others saw a perfectly normal rehearsal. Meanwhile, certain outlets reported that Baldoni found Lively's stance baffling, especially because she'd also joked on camera about trivial things. His nose, her body makeup, the comedic difficulty of choreographing a slow dance. Before anyone could decide which interpretation felt true, the lawsuits took over. Lively's complaint described unwanted comments, tense on-set interactions, and deeper allegations she said needed legal recognition. Baldoni fired back with a countersuit that accused Lively's camp, allegedly with Ryan Reynolds' involvement, of orchestrating a public smear campaign. According to his angle, they wanted to paint Baldoni as the villain, hype that up in the media, and overshadow the actual film production. It's not every day you see two beloved figures so publicly at odds. But soon the legal meltdown went far beyond just the two leads. Baldoni's complaint named Ryan Reynolds as a key player, suggesting that Reynolds had leveraged his clout to put pressure on the production, the script, and even the film's promotional strategy. Then came the most surprising name drop of all, Taylor Swift. Baldoni's side alleged that Swift was present at an after-hours meeting in Blake and Ryan's penthouse where creative decisions were hammered out. Was she simply hanging out with friends that night, or did her presence up the stakes? We may never know for sure, but it fed the rumor mill enough to keep tabloids swirling for days on end. But that wasn't all. Enter Candace Owens, a conservative commentator with a knack for stirring the pot. Owens claimed she had an inside source from the set who insisted the real puppet master was Ryan Reynolds. According to this unverified account, Reynolds took offense at some storyline or direction he saw in the raw dailies. Then, he allegedly confronted Baldoni, demanded changes, and even tried to get Baldoni's talent agency to drop him. Owens alleged that Reynolds was pulling strings behind the scenes, trying to gain more control over It Ends With Us on his wife's behalf. These claims were never confirmed, yet they added gasoline to a rapidly spreading fire. Suddenly, the conversation stretched beyond Hollywood gossip into the realm of how much sway a powerful celebrity couple can hold. Some fans turned on Lively and Reynolds, accusing them of torpedoing Baldoni's career under the guise of creative differences. Others said Baldoni simply couldn't stand being challenged by a strong, equally famous co-star who wanted input. Then, more twists arrived. The alleged presence of hush-hush PR tactics, stories leaked to gossip columns, unverified HR complaints circulated among tabloids, and an entire swirl of phone record subpoenas kept everyone guessing. With so many rumors flying, it became a showdown of who could prove what. Lively's legal team pushed forward with subpoenas to phone carriers like AT&T, T-Mobile, and Verizon, insisting they needed complete call logs and text records. Baldoni's lawyers shot back that this was an attempt to dig up dirt and spin trivial communications into damaging headlines. In fact, he labeled the entire initiative a fishing expedition. Every single phone call, text, or social media message from the crew's personal networks now risked becoming tabloid fodder. Before anyone could catch their breath, Baldoni launched an entire website dedicated to exonerating himself. It contained an enormous archive of emails, text chains, and full-length behind-the-scenes videos, each labeled as proof that Lively's story wasn't adding up. In one clip, the two co-stars can be heard discussing boundaries, explicitly agreeing not to kiss for a certain scene, presumably to keep audiences in suspense. Baldoni's team said that moment alone shattered any claims of forced intimacy. Lively's attorneys insisted those same exchanges were taken out of context and that her accusations go beyond just one or two scenes. All of this drama signaled a new kind of PR battle, fought not just in court, but also in the public eye. Some observers saw parallels to other high-profile Hollywood showdowns, except here, multiple A-listers were locked in each other's crosshairs. Meanwhile, cameo appearances by big names like Swift added even more stardust, turning what could have been a niche industry story into headline news. The media fed on every twist. Entire commentary channels dissected phone logs, body language, and every rumor. Then there was the comedic bit that may have backfired. Ryan Reynolds appearing at an SNL tribute show and making a joke, some say a veiled reference to the legal fiasco. Reports suggest he pitched this gag himself, although no one will confirm it on record. Some fans found it funny, a self-deprecating nod to the swirling allegations. Others thought it was in poor taste, especially considering the seriousness of Lively's complaint and Baldoni's claims that his entire reputation was under assault. Even after that, tensions soared higher. Journalists speculated about major repercussions. Could production on It Ends With Us be halted or canceled entirely? What about the potential impact on future job offers for both leads? As the drama escalated, Ryan Reynolds faced his share of backlash, with critics saying he should let his wife and her co-star resolve their issues without overshadowing the situation through his own star power. Candace Owens wasn't done talking either. She shared a rumor about a heated argument in Blake's trailer, an argument that some say changed the entire dynamic on set. Owens suggested that from that point forward, Lively had an agenda, guided by Reynolds' frustrations. Whether you believe that story or not, it once again underscored how many puzzle pieces kept emerging. One moment, you might lean toward Lively, figuring maybe Baldoni tried to salvage his image by quickly spinning the narrative. Another moment, you might side with Baldoni, seeing the slow dance footage and comedic banter that undercuts the notion of a consistently uncomfortable environment. Meanwhile, in the broader Hollywood landscape, observers debated what this battle says about power dynamics. Typically, an actor might have zero control when dealing with a director. In this case, though, Lively wasn't just any actor, and she had a formidable ally in Reynolds. On the flip side, Baldoni was no small name either. He was leading the project, co-producing, and had a track record of speaking publicly about supporting women and dismantling toxic masculinity. Ironically, that same messaging became a key element in Lively's complaint. She claimed Baldoni cultivated a polished public persona, but acted differently when the cameras weren't rolling, an accusation he flat out denied. For fans, it felt like a slow-motion roller coaster. One day, you'd see headlines about Lively amending her lawsuit with bombshell new evidence, only to discover that the new details were more cryptic than shocking. Another day, Baldoni's attorneys would release carefully chosen outtakes that seemed to show Lively joking around in a perfectly normal way. All the while, the question remained: where was the full truth? Perhaps the most intriguing part is how these allegations might overshadow the actual film. Initially, It Ends With Us was expected to make waves because of its beloved source material and a cast that promised on-screen magic. Now, most coverage revolves around lawsuits, hidden agendas, and potential betrayals. Gossip outlets glean every detail, from who read the final script last to whether Taylor Swift might drop a subtle lyric referencing this fiasco. Some argue this entire scandal could be the ultimate, albeit unintentional, marketing strategy. Any publicity is good publicity, as they say. Yet that notion starts to crack when you consider how serious these accusations are. Harassment or misconduct claims can end careers, ruin reputations, and irreparably damage lives. If the allegations prove false, Lively risks losing trust from fans who once idolized her. If the allegations prove true, Baldoni will have to answer for possibly misusing his power despite claiming to stand for equality. One area that keeps coming up in hush-hush conversation is how the lawsuit reveals a broader behind-the-scenes system of leaks and spin. According to Baldoni, Lively and Ryan Reynolds were funneling stories to mainstream publications, apparently hoping the press would latch onto a one-sided narrative that portrayed him as the sole problem. Lively's side responded that they had no need for hush-hush tactics because they believed the facts spoke for themselves. And so it went, each side calling the other out for alleged deception. Sources close to the couple indicated that Lively initially wanted to keep the matter private, but that turned impossible once Baldoni filed a countersuit. In that version of events, she felt forced to defend herself by any legal means necessary. Baldoni's camp claimed that if Lively truly wanted privacy, she never would have approached the media with her story in the first place. At that point, everything had grown so convoluted that any attempt to parse the timeline felt daunting, if not impossible. Still, the final chapter has yet to be written. The civil court proceedings are set to lay out more evidence, from phone calls to text transcripts to additional behind-the-scenes footage. Some claim that certain raw videos remain unreleased, waiting for the perfect strategic moment. Meanwhile, fans oscillate between believing Lively's account and believing Baldoni's. Ryan Reynolds tries to keep up appearances as he's promoting new projects, but the shadow of these allegations keeps following him. Candace Owens, for her part, continues to tease that there is even more behind-the-scenes drama waiting to be exposed if it suits her narrative. So where does all of this leave us? On the surface, you've got a messy, made-for-tabloid controversy, complete with big Hollywood names and sensational claims. Below that, though, you have questions about power, manipulation, and a battle between one of the industry's most talked-about couples and a director known for championing progressive values. Did outside influence corrupt the production? Or did a star-studded cast simply fall victim to the rumor mill, fanned by opportunistic voices with their own agendas? The only certainty is that the story isn't over. Courtrooms prefer concrete evidence, not speculation. Eventually, the attorneys will have to show, line by line, text by text, what truly happened during those tense days of filming. If more unedited footage surfaces, we might get a clearer picture. But then again, each side will interpret that footage in their favor, leaving viewers with the same swirl of conflicting narratives. Perhaps it all culminates in a blockbuster trial that ends with a definitive verdict. Or maybe it fizzles out in a confidential settlement. For now, everyone seems braced for more revelations. Each day brings the possibility of a new leak, another website update, or a fresh round of subpoenas. Meanwhile, the rest of us watch from the sidelines, uncertain if we're witnessing a serious fight for justice or a cunning game of Hollywood chess. Either way, the personal stakes couldn't be higher for Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni, and the curious circle of celebrities in orbit around them. Their careers and reputations hang in the balance, tethered to a film title that feels strangely prophetic. Because at the end of the day, fans can't help but wonder, does it really end here, Or is there another layer left to be revealed? Will the truth burst into the open during a court hearing, or will it quietly vanish behind closed-door settlements and NDAs? No matter how this saga unfolds, it's changed the way viewers look at star-driven movies. Next time a glossy trailer drops, you might ask yourself, what's really going on behind the scenes? Whose story is being shaped by hidden hands? And most of all, who's actually telling the truth when the cameras stop rolling? Only time will tell. But until then, keep your eyes peeled for the next twist. Hollywood loves a sequel, and this legal drama may be far from its final act.